Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. This video is a wee 2-day trip I had at the weekend there at Arrochar. Unfortunately, I filmed it on the Akaso Brave 7 camera and I put this windsock over it, and I think the combination of the case and the windsock, the audio in it's pretty poor. So I've tried to boost it as best I can. I kind of thought about should I just put a voiceover on it, but it's kind of difficult because there's quite a lot of chat in it. Well, hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am in Arrochar and I'm going for a wee 2-day walk with a wee camp overnight. Made a couple of cock-ups already in gear, which I'm really annoyed about. I was dying to try a new drone. I'll show it here. It's the Faith Mini, which I got from China. £140, looked like a real bargain. But what have I done? Forgotten the connecting cable for this. I'll show you some clips of it though. The film's actually quite good, I think. But yeah, not be able to film tonight, so I'm really gutted. But at least I've got a lighter pack. I brought these boots again from Nortiv8. These are the Armadillos, they're called. And that's also something I'm going to try to do. That's a new smartwatch, which I'll tell you more about. So, not only have I forgotten the cable for the drone, I've also spilt my red wine all over the inside of my pack. So I'm now basically a droneless wino, or at least I smell it one. It's normally a 5 or 6 hour walk, this I think, if you do it in a day. But I'm going to make it into a nice wee easy 2-day, a wee 24-hour escape. Still absolutely bloody gutted about the drone. Took a couple of weeks to get here. £140. Seems to work very well. I had some couple of wee tech glicks when I fell on it. Last week I crushed it in my rucksack. That's a whole new story. Anyway, there's now a second one coming, so if this first one continues to work, I'll have another one. So if anybody's interested, I'll probably just sell that for exact value of what I brought it in from China for. That's the village I've come from. That's Arrochar down at the head of Loin. The rain is on again. That's exactly what's forecast. It's kind of showers and cloudy, and then possibly heavy rain tonight. So that's why I'm not heading up into the higher mountains. I'm just going to use this pass all the way between the Arrochar Alps. Last time I was up here must have been over a decade ago, and we mountain biked the circuit, which is actually a really nice circuit. And it is a mix of this kind of logging trail and single track and some roller coasters to finish, which I'll show you tomorrow. So we're about an hour in now and just cleared the forest, or at least this part of the forest, and it's kind of opened up, looking northwest, I think. Northeast, I'm not sure, I need to check the map. Anyway, it's a wee bit more pleasant. There's a slight breeze keeping the bugs off, and it's just nice to have a bit of a view again. I'm halfway around the loop towards the highest point, which is near the col between Benim and Benmarnain, and then I'll double back along to the right, and then kind of just continue towards Ben Vane, which is somewhere up there, and then find a spot. Probably just see the dam if you're watching this on a bigger screen. You'll see the dam through the middle there, just ahead of me. So this is probably a far better test on the Nortiv8 Armadillo boots. Very warm, but that will be because I've got full-on winter socks on to make sure they fit me and to reduce the chance of blisters. Early days yet. I've still got another couple of hours walking probably before we camp up. Maybe a few pounds worth of hardware here. I'll take the stuff out, I guess. And that one there is one of those cracking machines that strips the tree, cuts it, does the whole damn thing, cuts it into sections. So it does the job of 3 men, I think. Or 3 women. Right in the middle of nowhere, you spot this patch of blue off to the right, and it looks to be somebody's soggy old sleeping bag, I think. I'm only filming it in case it turns out to be significant later. Okay, so we're nearly at the high point for the day. I can hear what sounds like a pretty strong river, which suggests that'll be where the dam is. So I believe, I'll check in a minute, but I think it's about 1,000 feet, which is probably about the highest I go to. The camp area might be slightly above it. But yeah, it's not all about altitude and bagging today. I can't be bothered because the weather forecast is rubbish later on. I've also got the Nortent Vern 1 out again tonight. Two hours 9 walking, it says. Actually, that's near 3, I would say. 1,000 calories, probably 1,200. And on my feet, actually, the hot spots, I've got 2 hot spots. The one on there, and the exact same spot on the other side. That makes me think it's just my feet are soft. Sandwich between Ben Du, Ben Vorlich, Acrois, I think you say. I don't know how you say that. Ben Narnain, Ben Eam. So we're just sandwiched in the middle here. There's the wee call between Ben Narnain there and Ben Eam, somewhere up behind the forest. Anyway, let's go. So I'll show you around in terms of where I am. The tent has been great. I love the way you can open up the 2 doors. So you get a really extensive view and you can cook under cover out the rain, which is due soon. But if I show you around, let's have a look up here. So there you go. I think that is Acrois. I'm not sure how you say it. Somebody will tell me. Ben Narnain is tucked around the back there. That's Ben Eam. Above me, which is the path I'm on, is Ben Vane summit. And then across the valley here is Ben Vorlich. And then back to Loch Lomond down here. Forgotten the wee adjoining loch. And then the far away loch you can just see a sliver of is Loch Catrin. So the confirmation is the midges are out. The jungle formula is on. 10 to 7. So what I'm making this watch so far, it's very light, very comfortable. Not particularly, when I say light, it doesn't feel cheap. However, I'm not that keen on the watch face choices on it. I think they really need to introduce some more on the app. Well, as you can probably hear, that's the rain on. A wee bit more substantial this time. But I'm going to leave these doors open and I'll probably just cook under this. It's one of the strengths of this tent actually. I quite like this canopy thing right over it. The vestibule with the big storm vent flaps creates very sheltered area, as long as the wind is obviously behind you. Absolutely bucketing it down now. If you can hear me over the racket of the rain, I'm going to have some, I think it's Chinese rice noodles or something. And I've got some chicken and the obligatory teriyaki sauce. There's definitely something more therapeutic, I think, about just cooking over the old alcohol stove. It's a bit like the equivalent of having an aga versus a normal gas cooker. It is on for the night by the look of it. I don't know what it is about this tent so far, but every time I take it out, I actually have to spend hours inside it. It's definitely a wet weather special. Right, nearly set the tent on fire there. I finally got to put the simmer ring on. The whole thing went crazy. Flames up the inside of the tent. Absolute shocker. But Radio 4, I've got a download actually, which is about the Dallas shooting. BBC Part 4. I've watched the first 3. Pretty harrowing stuff, but kind of riveting. So I'm going to watch that tonight. And I'm just going to have a wee bit of pudding now, or a wee bit of banana or something. So I haven't actually sealed this tent. It's still on the island, so in theory the seams would need a bit of seam sealing. But I guess it's very similar to Hilleberg in that it uses the thread that swells and fills the holes. And I'm looking for leaks at the moment, and I don't see any. There's no dripping on the inner tent yet, and nothing coming through the top ridge line. Well, it's after 9, probably near 9:30. Decided to zip up the doors now. It's going to be a bit colder. Get a candle on for a bit of ambience, and I'm going to watch a movie. It's about 10:30. I'm going to hit my kit. The Nortent Vern 1 has been really good again. Not a single leak in this driving rain, continuous rain all night. So I'm really sorry about all the tent time guys, couldn't show any views outside. But it is what it is. And I'll see you guys in the morning. All. Could be midgy hell out there. Zero leaks, which is brilliant. That was a great test, so I don't think I'm ever going to bother still netting this. I just spent hours just cooking in the vestibule, doing everything I needed in there. There's a wee bit of a cliff edge here, you've got to be careful you don't go over the edge here if you were sleepwalking. I suppose this is a good time now just to reappraise these boots, the Nortiv8 Armadillos. For the price, I think they perform very well. They've been fairly sure-footed, a lot of ankle support. They're very, very warm in these conditions, too warm actually for this. When I took them off last night, I've been through a million puddles, mud, etc., for a long day. They were damp round about the toe box, and I think that's purely condensation. I don't know that any other boot would be necessarily 100% dry, but it's something I did notice. I should also mention, the Nortiv8 also sent me some other shoes. My wife swears by the ones they gave her. They're really a replacement for her Merrill Moabs, I think it is. And she loves them. She says they're much more comfortable than Merrills. So they're going nowhere. And Annie, my daughter, loves the Salomon style, more modern kind of trekking, running trainer. It's very much based on the Salomon style. As for the Akaso Brave 7, which you're watching me on just now, let me know how the sound sounded this time with the windsock on it. What did I think of this? I said I'd give the guys some feedback on it. I like the graphics on it. It's very clear to understand. The menu's very clear as well. The watch itself is very light and very comfortable. So that's been good. The one thing it's obviously missing, and it's a budget smartwatch. At the end of the day, it doesn't have the GPS facilities on it. So I can't use maps on it, etc. Let's just go through some sports. But you can do all your workouts. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can. And then it just records what you're doing, gives you all your usual kind of stuff. Let's see. Yeah, distance, steps, pace, does your heart rate, does blood oxys, does all the sort of stuff you need. So basically, like any other smartwatch, looks a wee bit more chunky. It's a wee touch of Casio about it. But yeah, it's a budget one. From my point of view, do miss the GPS functions. So it would be nice if it had all the map stuff, but you're not going to get that at that price. There you go, I'm 46 minutes in from coming off Ben Vane. I also meant to add, if you're interested in the Nortent range, although I've got the Vern 1, David Eardley, whose channel I think is Fellman Dave, I'll put a wee link at the end actually. In fact, I'll put his video up at the end. If you want to have a look at the Vern 2, which is a nice tunnel, which shares very similar features to the Vern 1. So thank you to Nortent in Norway for sending me that. Somebody to my left here, or to your left, my right, is out shooting. I'll put the camera back on and I hope you could hear it, but of course, well, there you go. A wee bit freaky having watched the Las Vegas mass shooting program last night. Right folks, if you can still hear me over the sound of the strangled cockerel, thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video and you haven't subscribed, really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. Or if you're a long time subscriber, we like would be brilliant. It just helps the algorithm on Google and on YouTube as well. So thank you very much folks. It was an interesting little overnight. A lot damper and a lot less views than I hoped for, but hope you enjoyed it nevertheless. And I will see you out there for the next one. Cheers just now.